So the last thing we want to show you is how to get the most out of the search bar up here on your Google Drive, because eventually you are going to have possibly hundreds of files on your drive, and you're going to need to know an easy way to find individual files. So other than simply typing in the name of the file up here, there's a bunch of ways you can narrow down your search. So if you come over here to this little down arrow, it opens up a whole bunch of things. So you can search files by type. Let's say you're only looking for a video. Well, I'm going to go down to video and look that way. Owner. Owned by anyone, owned by me, not owned by me, owned by a specific person. I find this is a very helpful one if I'm looking for a specific student, piece of student work. So if I click on specific person and enter name, if you punch in the first few letters, you will probably get some of the options for students. So in this case, we've got Eliza. So if I click on, I'm looking for a file that she shared with me. If I click on this, puts her name there and hit the search bar, here are all the files that she has shared with me. Now if you look up here, what's appeared in the search bar is owner : and then the student's email address. You can type that in as well as going through the menu options here. You can do either of those two things. So some of the other things, if you just click on the search drive, it will bring up the types automatically. That's sort of a quick search item. Where are you going to locate it? If you think you've trashed it, then you select trash. If it's a starred folder, one that you've starred as a special file or folder, click there. Date modified. Did you do it today, yesterday, last 7 days? That'll narrow things down. And then you kind of get the traditional things. The item has this certain name in it. It has certain words. It is shared with a certain person. So you can use all of these items to look for a piece of student work. One thing to know when you use Google Classroom, if a student turns in their file to you, that student is no longer the owner of that file. The ownership has transferred over to you. So if we take a look at some of my Google Classroom items. So go to my classroom folder. Everybody will have a classroom folder if you're using Google Classroom. So these are all the classes that I've had using Google Classroom. So if I select this one, it's going to give me all of the assignments that I have used, that I have assigned. So we're going to look at the Gatsby film assignment. And these are all the assignments that have been turned into me for this particular work. So if you notice, I have a lot of student work here, but the owner of this student work is me. Why is it me? Because they returned it to me through Google Classroom. Once they hit that submit button in Google Classroom, they lose ownership of their file. So if you're looking for a certain file on Google Classroom by a certain student, I would suggest going to the particular folder that the assignment is in. So in this case, it would be the Gatsby film assignment, and then looking within the folder for that particular student file. That's the only kind of tricky part of using the search bar with Google Classroom. The other thing with the search, you can always use any of the Boolean operators like and, but, the minus sign if you want a certain, find any files that have this thing but don't have this thing. So all of those basic search items will also work on the drive. So hopefully this will help you to locate your files very quickly under Google Drive.